Hello, world. My name is Stephen Walker, and welcome to A Walker in the Woods. I am on day 17 of my carnivore diet, meal plan, way of living, eating, thriving, and I'm feeling great. High energy, even flow down below, no problem. This morning I had a constitution that did not take long, and when I actually looked, it was longer than I had expected it to be. So when you're on a high fat diet, things just kind of move smoothly, let's just say. Anything negative, I've heard people talk about keto flu when they get off of the sugars and the carbs, and I have not experienced any flu-like symptoms. And here I am in South Korea. It is November the 27th, and it is snowing. It's the first snow of the year, and it's been pretty cold over the last week. It's been getting colder and was rainy. And generally, the change in seasons is when people do get a flu or a cold. And I have not even had a sniffle or a cough. So, no keto flu, knocking on wood down below here. And no disaster pants. I've also heard people talk about having to make a fast dash to the bathroom when they're on a high fat, low carb diet. If anything, I have to go and wait a little bit. I have not felt bloated. Um, there's been no emergencies, and that is something that I did kind of worry about, being a teacher and you're in a class for an hour and 50 minutes, 10-minute break in between. The hour 50-minute session, I'll usually give students 10 minutes to relax, check their phones, whatever they want to do, go to the restroom. But I have not had any disaster pants. I have not had any keto flu. But I have noticed that in the mornings, the crust in my eyes is a bit more than before. So I'm not sure if that is detoxing or if I'm just not getting enough sleep. I know I'm not getting too much because it is football season and I'm up. I sleep less than I should actually during football season. I will make up for it when the winter break comes. But so detoxing, oxalates is a topic that I want to touch on today. Oxalates, and I presume if you're a carnivore out there watching this, you will know what oxalates are. But if you are new to this, you stumbled upon me somehow in the internet algorithm. We will take a look at what oxalates are, what they kind of look like under a electron microscope, and also look at what foods are high in oxalate and what foods are very low or have no oxalates. So I'm going to share my PPT and let's take a look. All right. So again, this is my MOVEmber challenge, day 17 of my 20-day carnivore diet. And before that, from November 1st to the 10th, I was on a 10-day water fast. And feeling good from November 1st to the 27th. And for everyone out there, happy Thanksgiving for all my American friends. It is an American holiday. I always remembered my mom would ask me when I'm over here in Korea, so what did the Koreans do for Thanksgiving? And I'm like, Mom, that's an American holiday. It's not a Korean holiday. However, Korea they have a thing called Chuseok, and that's basically harvest time, usually in September or early October. And so that's kind of the Korean Thanksgiving, meeting friends, family, and eating copious amounts of food. But we're going to take a look at the oxalates first, and then we will look at my in-body fit metrics, the stats that my machine has given me this morning, and compare that to 2 days ago on the 15th. What are oxalates? So this picture right here, this image is a very highly focused electron microscope image, I believe. And from what I've heard and read a little bit, when you get close in on it, basically they're like very little tiny razor blades. And so when those things pass through your stomach and your gut, that is a possible reason why you may have leaky gut or gut issues, are all these very tiny little oxalates. And so here is the definition. So what is an oxalate? They are a compound that occurs naturally in plants and is also produced by the body as a waste product of vitamin C metabolism. They can be harmful if consumed in excess through plant-based foods. So Dr. Chafee, a carnivore doctor, he always talks about how plants are trying to kill you. And this is one of their defense mechanisms. Some plants are poisonous, and the majority, if not all, plants have oxalates. They cannot run from a predator. They are stationary. They are stuck in the ground. So how do they protect themselves? How do they survive? How do they reproduce? They have to have a defense mechanism. And for all of you biology nerds out there, I use nerd affectionately because I envy you. This is a diagram of an oxalate, the chemical formula of the oxalate, and it's C2O4. So there are 2 carbon and 4 oxygen. So the red are the 4 oxygen and the 2 black are the carbon molecule. And it's a -2 or negative. So the oxalate has an overall charge of -2 and is considered a dianion or molecule with 2 negative charges. Dianion, 2 negative. So let's take a little bit of a closer look. Now, this is an electron microscopy scan of calcium oxalate crystals. We have 3 different images. The crystals in part A over here, these crystals differ in the taper of their arms. They look kind of like icicles or a sticker, something you do not want to step on, and certainly something you don't want to ingest. The crystals differ in the taper of their arms, cross-sectional shape, and relative arm length. Fused crystals produce complex structures or arrows. The projections often prismatic or arrowhead. In the z-axis, I don't see the z in the image, unless I'm just not, maybe I should have studied science more. X and Z are common, especially at the intersection of axis. So the intersection, I guess, would be the Z axis. And then in picture B up here, some crystals taper to a point and each arm has beveled faces. I guess over here would be beveled. and a rhomboidal cross section. A rhomboid is a parallelogram with no right angles and with adjacent sides of unequal length. So that is what we're looking at, I guess, in image B. And then let's see, what else do we have down here? B, rhomboidal. Others have truncated tips, which may be this. Note the short arm in the z-axis arrowhead. I'm not following that exactly, but yeah, arrowhead, short arm, I guess over here. I don't know. This arrow is pointing us to something. And then down here in image C is the prismatic projections or arrowheads. In the z-axis occur at numerous sites along the length of the arms. They look like jagged spears. They look like a sticker that I used to step on when I was a child outside playing barefoot in the lawn, in the grass. They don't look, again, like something that you want to ingest and have pass through your colon, be it however small. So I have a few more slides here that I took from a website that I will share with you shortly, but how healthy foods can hurt. And so it says, again, oxalates are naturally occurring compounds found in a lot of healthy foods, such as spinach and nuts. Green leafy vegetables and many nuts are high oxalate food. Some people are more sensitive to oxalates and can benefit from reducing them in their diet. And high amounts of oxalates can trigger or contribute to reduced mineral absorption, chronic inflammation, the leaky gut, bacterial damage, and bacteria is very important in our gut, healthy bacteria, that is, oxidative stress, nutrient deficiencies, mitochondrial damage, that's not good, symptoms such as fatigue and pain. Some people who are oxalate dumping complain about their joints hurting, even surfacing on and through the skin, like small crystals coming out of the skin. Autoimmunity and crystal formation, aka kidney stones. So if you're prone to having kidney stones, again, knocking on wood, I've never had one, and I hope I don't. They sound horrendous. But again, oxalates, they can aid or trigger some of these different types of diseases, depending on your diet and a number of other things that we'll look at here shortly. So what are some high oxalate foods? Here are just a small list, but raspberries, dark chocolate and cocoa powder or cacao. And I was a big fan of cacao. I had cacao nibs, cacao beans. I had cacao powder, 100% cacao. I was told that it's the highest vitamin C source in the world. I was told that it was, what else? Great for the brain, great for the heart, magnesium, but it also is a high oxalate carrying food. Swiss chard, another leafy green leaf, buckwheat, tofu, miso, and other soy foods. And that's something pretty big here in Korea. They do like their tofu. Spinach, potatoes and yams, wheat bran, black tea. That one kind of surprised me. Beans, rhubarb, nuts and seeds. Again, we've been told that nuts and seeds are good, healthy, a good healthy snack. And I ate my fair share of nuts and seeds when I was a vegetarian, and I went raw for a number of months and made my smoothies with spinach. I drank a lot of chocolate, dark chocolate, cacao, filling my body full of oxalates. And then finally, beets. And I like beets. There is a drink that I would make. It's called Kabbalah, and it was a carrot. You would juice these. You juice a carrot, a green apple, a beet, a red apple, a lemon, and a green apple. So a red, yellow, green apple, carrot, lemon, and a beet. And I would get all of these ingredients together, 2 or 3 beets, 5, 6 carrots, 2 or 3 lemons, and maybe 6, 2 red, 2 yellow, 2 green apples. Wash them all down, peel them, whatever, and juice them. And then I would put them in a big jug and I drink it throughout the week. And it tastes very good. And I thought, wow, I'm doing my body great. But little did I know, again, I was filling my body full of oxalate. Low oxalate foods and those that have high calcium, consuming high calcium, low oxalate foods help to bind oxalates and move them out of the body. Let's take a closer look. And how are they related? Organic unsweetened yogurt, dairy, organic cheese, dairy, canned fish, salmon, tuna, and sardines, meat, seafood, wild caught seafood. Here's our first mention of a vegetable, and that's broccoli and bok choy. So these two are low oxalate. I do like broccoli and I do like bok choy. I haven't had them in a while, but it's good to know that they are low on the oxalate level. Bone broth, and of course, eggs. Primarily dairy, seafood, according to this diagram or chart slide. And here I want to shout out Dr. Jockers. I presume that's how you pronounce it. You can just Google Dr. Jockers and oxalate, and you will find the page that I pulled these from. So I give credit to this site for coming up with some very nice graphics, easy to see, easy to read, easy to comprehend. Also, according to Dr. Jocker, some strategies to reduce the oxalate levels. Obviously, you want to limit high oxalate foods. And those that do have high oxalates, you should cook them longer. But again, when you cook vegetables a long time, all of the real nutrition goes out and into the water. And then you're just left with a mush. No one wants to eat that, except maybe a baby. Then consuming high calcium, low oxalate foods, again, such as dairy, broccoli, got your sardines, cheese, yogurts. Good hydration, good water. I've talked about water here, I think 2 or 3 videos ago. I talked about distilled water and the benefits of. Consuming oxalate competitors, and that's baking soda. And I have done the baking soda and lemon. So again, lemon juice in the mornings. I not recently, but I used to take about maybe a half a teaspoon of baking soda in some distilled water, and then I would add a bit of lemon juice, and it would foam, fizz, just like I guess an Alka-Seltzer does. I've never had an Alka-Seltzer, I don't think, in my life. Luckily, my stomach has never had acidic issues. But the baking soda with lemon juice in water is your home remedy for an Alka-Seltzer. And that also helps reduce oxalate levels, which is good news. Also, you can optimize vitamin B6 levels. Looks like some avocado in there. I like the avocado. I'll probably add avocado back when I finish this month-long carnivore journey. I'm not going to add a lot of vegetables, but I do like the avocado. They're very high in a very good fat, and they just add a little bit something, something, a bit of color. I'm a visual dude. I like color. I don't like looking at just a brown steak each and every day, believe it or not. A good probiotic. So, again, maybe you can ask your doctor or nutritionist for advice on that. I don't have any brand about probiotics, but I have taken them in the past, introducing the microbiome into the gut. Citrate salts. I don't really know what citrate salts are. Citric, maybe citrate, but I do know what cell salts. And these are Jackson mineral salts or cell salts. And there are 12 different salts. These, if you can see, I'm dropping them on my computer. These are very round. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know how I'm going to show that. There they are. And basically you take 2 to 4 once, twice a day, sublingually. You put them under your tongue and let them dissolve. These are the 12-in-1 mineral. That's way too small for me to read. You can Google it easily and find out what different minerals or I guess minerals mostly make up these. Other cell salts, I have some in my home. I'm in my office today, but the other one is more of a pill form that is very dissolvable. When it gets under your tongue, it just kind of melts. And so you should let it sit under your tongue for as long as possible until it kind of dissipates and enters your system. And then activated charcoal. And I do have that as well. I use activated charcoal. Here is what I use. I don't have, this is a different bottle that I've transported to my office. iHerb.com is a fantastic website that you can get a lot of these things from. And living in Korea, they give us free shipping. So that's awesome. So I highly support and promote iHerb, iherb.com. If you don't know iHerb, I suggest you check it out. They've got everything from baby items to bath and bed, bath, and beyond type of stuff, but better. Minerals, superfoods. They do have your the cacao and maca and honeys, and just if you're into nutrition and you don't know iHerb, then you're welcome. So here are a few more low oxalate foods. We'll dive a little bit deeper in, but these foods are considered low oxalate. And again, oxalates are found in plant-based foods. So meat, fish, dairy, and poultry do not have oxalates unless they are processed with grains, herbs, spices. So in the fruits that are low oxalate are blueberries, and I do like blueberries. I may add those in a little bit as well in the season. Strawberries, blackberries, apples, peaches, apricots. I like apricot seed. If you don't know about apricot seed, I might do a video on apricot seeds. Here actually, I do have apricot seeds right there. And people say, oh my God, they're poisonous. I've eaten upwards of 20 in a day and not had a problem. Oh God, now I just ruined my BBB&E. I ate a seed. What was I thinking? They're very bitter. I'll go into these a little bit more in depth. So in a different video. Cherries and bananas. I haven't had a banana in a long time. They're basically sugar bombs. Some vegetables. Cauliflower and broccoli. I like both of those, as well as onions. Peas, zucchini, mustard greens, cabbage. Cabbage is huge over here in Korea, aka kimchi, and mushrooms. And I do like my mushrooms, and I've made my own tinctures. This is reishi and chaga tincture. I made that back in June 28th of 2022. So it's over 2 years old, and it's basically infused into vodka, Absolute. And so again, this is also something that I do sublingually, but I haven't since for this November. I haven't touched it. Some grains, corn flour, that's interesting. Oat bran and white rice. And that's also interesting. Low oxalate, but carbohydrate, aka sugar, which turns into sugar. Animal foods, eggs, red meat, poultry, and fish. And then organic dairy is yogurt, cheese, butter, and milk. So good news for the carnivores there. Liquids, water, and coffee. So black tea is high oxalate, coffee is low. That's interesting. I am looking forward to having another cup of coffee one of these days. I don't know when, but I do enjoy coffee with a touch of cream. And then some spices and herbs. Cinnamon is a good spice. Dill, I like dill. Hard boiling the eggs and putting it into a dill, juice, I guess. Dill juice, I guess. Yeah, you just drop the hard-boiled eggs into the juice, and the eggs absorb it, gives it a different taste. Cumin, I like cumin, and I love cilantro. My wife hates cilantro, and I love it. So back when I made Mexican food, no muy bueno for us. I liked it, and she hated it. So I had, of course, as being the dutiful, loving husband, I did not add cilantro to my Mexican food that I made. The things you do for love. Here's my last slide on this, and that is concerning hydration. Hydration, hydration, hydration. It says, get pure filtered water. Use reverse osmosis or distilled water or some sort of very good filtration to get toxins and impurities out of the water. I've talked about before. This is 0 parts per million, 100% H2O distilled water. And this is my water distiller. This is an old one that I brought to my office. So rather than lug this back and forth from my home to my office, I have one in my office and I have one in my home. And about 5-6 hours of the distillation will fill up a 4-liter jug of water. And I drink upwards of 3 to 4 liters a day of water. Waking up with water. You should drink at least 8 to 16 ounces of water within the first 20 minutes of waking up, and aim for 32 ounces of water before eating anything. In Korea, they say don't drink water when you eat because it basically kind of reduces the stomach acids, and that makes sense also. But if you're trying to lose weight, filling up the belly with water will reduce the appetite for satiating with food, unless, of course, you're carnivore. Drinking continuously. You should drink at least 4 ounces every 30 minutes throughout the day. Stop drinking about 15 minutes before a meal. Drink very little with the meal, which is what the Koreans do. They drink little to zero water with the meal, and then pick up your hydration beginning 30 to 60 minutes after your meal. Using high quality salts. Use a really good sea salt like Redmond's Real Salt, Celtic's Sea Salt, and Himalayan Sea Salt. I've got some French sea salt over here in my office, but I usually use Redmond's at home. The Celtic sea salt is also very good. I've used all three. The Himalayan I used to use the pink salt, and then I've heard that other salts are just a better quality. So live and learn. Think water first. Before you think about snacking, always consider water and drink. Well, always consider water and drink at least 8 ounces, and then see if hunger, cravings, or desire for food goes away. So, oh, I need a snack. I need a snack. Maybe a good 8 ounce glass of water will satiate you until you eat properly. And finally, reducing alcohol and caffeine consumption. You can use these in moderation by overdoing it, such as more than 2 servings combined of alcohol and caffeine per day can easily dehydrate you. I can't remember the percent, but a huge percent of people are chronically dehydrated in America. And if you ask them, do you drink water? Oh, yeah. Pure water, 100, like not tea, not coffee. That's not water. Oh, well, maybe not. How much pure water do you drink in a day? How many glasses? How many liters? Hydrate yourself, people. You are upwards of 70% water, your body. You are what you eat. You are what you drink. And then this one I would disagree with. Flavor your water with stevia. I do have stevia, but I don't really find it to be palatable on my tongue. But it says add stevia drops, which have no calories, no chemicals, are natural, and give a great flavor to your water. I don't really need flavored water, although I do. This is Mont Best. Now, this might have stevia in it, actually. I bought this from a convenience store. It's lime flavored, so this might very well be stevia. But typically, I'll just stick with the distilled. Most people find it much easier to hydrate with the stevia drops. I've never tried it. If you have and you like it, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. So that is basically a short little journey into oxalates. And now I want to take a look at the 20-day metrics from my InBody Fit. I stepped on it at 7:59 a.m. on the 27th of November. And the weight, I've been 92.5 or 6. I went up 0.1 today. So pretty much since my fast finished, I have not dropped below 91.6, which was my fast. The 10th day of my fast, I was 91.6 kilo. I've gone up about 1 kilo and have hovered there. I've not gone higher. This is the highest I've been since starting this diet. And I have not gone down, which kind of surprises me because I've only been eating primarily steaks, ribeyes, and eggs and butter. The BMI, that maintained the same, 29.3 from 2 days ago to today. The skeletal muscle mass was 40.2 2 days ago, 40.4 today. So up 0.2. The soft lean mass, 66.8 today. I'm up 0.3. The basal metabolic rate, 1897. That's getting up there. I've been close to 2000 before, so I guess I'm high in that regard. Then we have percent body fat, and that one dropped a little bit from 2 days ago, 23.7. I'm down 0.3, and that's good. Percent body fat. Let's see, percent body fat. So again, here, if you look at these little screen captures, the Pyojun is normal or average, and then this little line means above. So I'm ever slowly creeping down into the normal range on percent body fat. And then 22 body fat mass, I'm down 0.2. The visceral fat level, the lowest I went was 9, but I've been basically hovering around 10 for a good while. And then the waist hip ratio, again, is always about 1. When I look at myself in the mirror, I know that I'm losing weight. Am I losing kilograms or pounds? Maybe not. Maybe the body's just shifting, readjusting, renewing, renovating my physical meat suit and what's inside that I can't see. The fit score, 777 today. That's up 4. And so I'm pretty happy with these numbers overall. I would like to see the weight start dropping. I would like to get into the 80s one of these days soon, just for the mental, kind of the mental victory. But again, I do step on the scale every day. And I know people that often say, do not step on the scale. Numbers are odious. They don't mean anything, comparing this to that. But for the sake of this challenge, I'm doing it every day and reporting every other day. So I am going to end with a quote, and it's an English proverb, and it says, do not dig your own grave with a knife and a spoon. Do not dig your own grave with a knife and a spoon. That's an interesting quote. Basically, you are what you eat. And what you eat may be not as healthy as you thought it was. We're taught the food pyramid. We're taught that meat was bad, and grains and the vegetables and fruits at the base of the pyramid are all fantastic, and you should have this many servings of all, and very little serving of dairy, very little serving of meat, and a minute serving of the sweets and oils. If you flip that over and you substitute the oils for fat, and then the majority of your meals are meat, seafood, and dairy, and very little to no vegetables, fruits, or grain, it's upside down world, people. We do live in upside down world. I understand that, and I accept it. I accept the fact that I've been taught these things. I don't accept going along with it any longer. So I'm not angry. Knowledge is liberation. Knowledge is freedom. Knowledge is power. And so by sharing a little bit of information on this channel that I've gleaned from all of the giants, we're all basically standing on the backs and the shoulders of those before us, and each of us can do our own promotion, education in our own way, be it with family, friends, a channel. But you do you. At the end of the day, you do you. And I don't want to dig my own grave with the food that I eat anymore. And so to drink to that, I'm going to pour a nicely freshly brewed distilled water. Wash down those 2 apricot seeds. I hope you don't ban me from this channel because I ate 2 apricot seeds, but I did it for science. Until next time, which will be, let's see, this is Wednesday. I'll post another on Friday. Until then, ciao for now.